Kelly, welcome to Halloween Daily. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Oh, do you know what, Matt? It's my absolute pleasure. I love Halloween Daily News and I've been following you for a while, so I'm really pleased to be here.
Well, I'm excited to connect with you and meet you, and I've been following you for a while now, and I know our audience is going to be very excited and very interested to learn all about your epic event that you have put together that's going to debut this October in Las Vegas called HallowScreamCon, and we're going to talk all about that. But before we get into any of that, we here at Halloween Daily News, we love to learn a little bit about your own personal relationship to Halloween. So, can you tell us a little bit about, well, first, where did you grow up, and did you celebrate Halloween growing up, and what is your earliest Halloween memory?
Right. Well, I grew up in the UK, in the West Midlands, so in Middle Earth, as we call it here. And sadly, and I think that all of this kind of comes round. In the
Mhm.
UK, we don't really celebrate Halloween, right?
Right.
So imagine me, I myself am strange and unusual, seeing many amazing American films growing up. Specifically, I remember Hocus Pocus, and I was convinced I was going to marry Omri Katz, um, and that we were going
I
to
love it.
Halloween together every year.
Yes.
Imagine somebody like me, who you'll get to know, obviously, and being just Halloween starved. And where I grew up, all we ever really wanted was to ride on the yellow school bus and have a locker and to go trick or treating. And that just it was always passed off as, oh, it's just a Hallmark greeting card kind of thing, you know. It's not a real celebration. So I think that all of those years, as soon as I was old enough, I went a bit crazy with Halloween. So we do something in my house every year called the House of October. So we start on the 1st of October. We start decorating weeks before, but we start on the
Right.
1st of October and we have a black upside down Christmas tree and the whole house gets done top to bottom. We have all sorts of little animatronics and
Yes.
things that have been created over the years. And I think that we might be the spookiest house on the block, shall we say?
Yes.
And we watch a
Yes.
different Halloween film every day for the month, and we go all out. But sadly, as a little Kelly, I didn't get very much Halloween, which is why I go bananas for it now, I think.
Like you said, maybe it has kind of come full circle and makes even more sense now with this great event
Absolutely.
that you're putting on.
Yeah,
And so I guess your earliest experience to Halloween, like you said, was largely through movies,
totally.
and we hear that a lot when I get to talk to people that didn't grow up here in the States, and I ask them that question, and we hear that a lot, that a lot of their earliest experience to the holiday was through watching American movies set on Halloween. So, and again,
Mm.
it sounds like the business you're in, that's come full circle. So since you did start celebrating, and now you're definitely one of us, it sounds like spookiest
Oh
house
yeah.
on the block. I love hearing that. So Halloween costumes. We always try to get your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever worn, and also your favorite Halloween candy.
Okay, well, I can go one better for you.
Okay.
I won't explain it just yet because there's a bit of a sad story behind it, but I get remarried to my husband every 5 years. So we have an agreement that we'll either renew our vows or
Hmm.
we'll get divorced, which is never going to happen because, to the grave and beyond and all that.
Right.
Um, so we're coming up for our 5th year, but the last one that we did, I did a full Beetlejuice wedding in a graveyard. Had the big black crown and the massive dress, and we had shrunken heads made of each other and all that sort of stuff. I don't do things by half,
I love
Matt.
it.
I'm not
I, I
messing around when it
I'm
comes to
learning this. I
gaming.
love it. Yes.
So so that was sort of the most sort of full out. I suppose we go to the Sin City Halloween Ball in Las Vegas. And I was Ursula, I think, last year in a massive inflatable.
Oh
The
yeah.
tentacles and full committed to being entirely purple. Yeah, I mean, there's too many to mention. But actually, my first ever Halloween celebration, and I remember thinking it was the craziest thing, was um, in the UK, we started to adopt Halloween a little bit, but not a lot, but a little bit.
Hmm.
And we had a Halloween disco. And I remember that being the first time I ever kind of, you
Yeah.
know, dressed up and wore something a bit spooky, but it wasn't that spooky because we're all quite conservative with that kind of thing here. I think I was a witch. What can you
Hmm.
do? And now I think now I permanently am. So
It's a classic costume. It's a
I think so. Why
it's a
not?
it's a classic icon of Halloween, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So obviously you're into it now, and now you built an event that is largely built around it and themed around it. Um, so if you had to sum it up today, what does Halloween mean to you?
Oh, do you know what? I think escapism
Hmm.
is really important in this day and age. The world feels kind of a bit topsy-turvy and a bit sad right now.
Hmm.
And to me, the only thing that kind of unites is the entertainment industry. And I think finding your tribe, your fellow people that kind of
Hmm.
match, a duck knows a duck, right? So
Right.
we're all kind of in the same, we're also kind of in the same mindset. But I think Halloween, it's the opportunity to escape and be something else, become something else,
Hmm.
uh, make believe. You've got all your other sort of celebrations, your holidays and things like that. But that's celebrating something else. It's not you transforming
Right.
into something. It's the expectation of something coming to you. Or, it's something deeper or it's something more. I see Halloween as just pure, unadulterated fun, adventure, and
Hmm.
escapism. That's the best way I can describe it. And that's why I love it so much.
Awesome. I love that description. And yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it is that time, and it is about, in a lot of ways, like you said, the other holidays are about other things, but
Yeah,
Halloween, you get to kind of embrace it in your own unique way in so many other ways. Um, and you're not dressing up for somebody else. You get to pick out your own costume.
yeah, nobody's telling you what to do. There's no rules.
Right.
You can be Barbie, you
Hmm.
can be a pirate,
Yeah.
or you can be Jason Voorhees.
Right.
It's entirely up to you. It's your own fun, it's your own imagination, it's your own journey. And I think that's why I love it so much because it feels kind of personal, but at the same time, you can tip your hat to everybody that you walk past and be like, yeah, well done. Great job. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, now I'm curious to see your house and all spooked out for Halloween and everything. I'll be stalking your Instagram this year
Yeah.
to see some of that.
I'll send you some links.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this event and kind of the origin of this event. Now, I know
Uh,
it was announced like it seems like about a year ago it was announced, and we here at Halloween Daily News we got the first announcement. We've kind of been covering this, and so I knew I was going to talk to you eventually, and we're definitely going to have you on here. But maybe you can walk us through even before then, like what was kind of the original spark that ignited this idea for you to put together this event? I watched your press conference from Las Vegas in October, and I know you kind of gave a little bit of your origin story there, but maybe if you could recap a little bit of that and how that
of course.
leads into launching HallowScreamCon.
Well, so I should say we announced it 9.5 months ago. So we're exactly
Okay.
halfway through now because there's 8.5 months to go. But pre that, we had been developing and working for around 4.5 years, building zones. But so what a lot of people don't know, and they're going to find out, So this is me sharing a little something with you,
Okay.
is that through every single zone in our show, of which there's 21 at the moment, there's a story, there's a narrative, and you can choose to explore that story and investigate that story and really get involved with it if you want to. Or you can just walk past it and be like, oh, okay, that's interesting, or whatever. We don't force fun on people. I don't like it when, you know, people are made to feel like they have to be involved in something.
Hmm.
But there is a story behind it. So the story started being written, well, more than 5 years ago now. But I had a meeting with uh, the CEO of Las Vegas Convention Center and Tourist Board. I, at the time, was the head of entertainment for a very large media brand. I've been an entertainment strategist for well over 20 years, although I shouldn't say that because it ages me somewhat. Um, and he was talking to me about what was going on in Las Vegas, and it reminded me of a promise that I made 27 years ago now. That was that I was going to bring a massive entertainment show to Las Vegas that was worthy of the spectacle and the magic that I had seen around me, which was everything from a 70-foot dragon coming out of a moat to a pirate stunt battle to an exploding volcano to white tigers and lions with a magician and the lions of the MGM wandering around. And I mean, Las Vegas is bonkers, right? It's the best way to describe
Hmm.
it. At least it certainly was back then. And I just remember being my creative little self and just thinking, there's something about this place. There's something about the soil here. There's magic in the air. And I really want to bring people together to experience that. So that was 27 years prior. And I was sat with this gentleman, and he was talking to me about how he wanted to build something. And he mentioned a convention, which I won't mention, but you could probably guess it. Very big, takes over a city. And I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with conventions. They're great. And if you love conventions, you love conventions. They're just not really my thing.
Hmm.
I need a bit more from my entertainment. I need to feel like I belong and like it's talking to me, and like it was done for me. That sounds a little bit like I'm a bit precious, but I'm not, I promise you. Um, and uh, and I wanted to create a celebration of all fandom, right?
Hmm.
Because it's so important, like I said, that we make memories, that we come together, that we celebrate the things that we love. And that's kind of where all of this sort of started, really. I wanted to create an entertainment megacon.
Hmm.
And by that, I'll explain it because basically what it is, it's like 20 mini conventions. Each one of the zones has guests and entertainment and demonstrations and masterclasses, but they're all themed around one area of the entertainment industry that people love. So we could break it down into nostalgia. So 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, that's one zone. Everything from childhood toys to screen use props to cassette tapes to shell suits, whatever, it's all kind of in that
Hmm.
zone. Then there's the film, TV, and streaming zone, final cut. So that's for everybody that celebrates film, films that they love, TV
Hmm.
shows that they love, crime docs that they love, whatever it is, that's all in that zone. There's an anime, sort of K-pop, J-rock, manga, sort of celebration of the Asian culture that it has become so popular. Um, and that's got its own zone, and each of them, like I said, when you put them together, there's a kitchen, there's a cookery zone, there's a sports zone that celebrates all the sports. Some are a bit wacky, which you're going to
Hmm.
love, and some of them are traditional sports.
Hmm.
um, so they're all there, and the idea is that there's something for absolutely everybody. So music, comedy, illusions, um, you know uh, I could go on, but I think that you get the point.
Mhm.
And then Las Vegas for me and is officially known as the entertainment capital of the world. And then I think, like I said, Halloween starved child here was like, when can we do this? So it's an entertainment megacon. It's celebrating all things entertainment in the entertainment capital of the world. It better be at the most entertaining time of the year then. And there you go, Halloween straight away. Without a second thought, I was like, finally, we get Halloween. So, so that's it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's come full circle. That Halloween starved child now has
That's
her
it.
own Halloween. Halloween. I love it.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. And then you were talking about Halloween candy. I only tried candy corn for the very first time back this year. So when I came over to Las Vegas for 3 months this year, I stayed in 32 hotels
Hmm.
in total for over the 3 months, and I went to all of the Halloween stuff that I could get my little mitts on. I went and did Queen Mary's Dark Harbour, Not Scary Farm, the Universal Horror Nights,
Yes.
different parties, different conventions, different celebrations, different gatherings. I even went to a goth party in a beach club DJ'd by Shaquille O'Neal, which was one
Oh
of the
man.
most surreal, the basketballer,
Hmm.
Shaquille O'Neal, which was one of the most surreal events of my Halloween season this year. But it was
I bet.
incredible fun. Um, so yeah, I don't know what my favorite Halloween candy is. I'm trying all of it. Uh,
Yeah.
but I can say that I tried candy corn for the first time this year. I don't know whether I have a massive it tastes a bit like fudge, right? Do you
Yeah.
guys have like yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Kinda.
So
Yeah.
I built it up in my brain as it was going. I remember one year an American friend of mine coming to university and she bought pumpkin spice Hershey Kisses and they tasted like the most delicious thing that I'd ever tried in my entire life. And I thought, well, when I get over to America, that's going to be easy. I'm just going to get them. They stopped them. Can't get them. What's that about?
Maybe. Hopefully they'll bring them back. Maybe.
Let's start a campaign.
Yes. Yes. Somebody start the petition now. We'll
Absolutely.
share
I'll
it.
be signature one. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We'll back it. That, that's that's a good pick. So yeah, I do love how it is all come back around to Halloween now with
Hmm.
HallowScreamCon, and of course, like you said, the event itself, it sounds like you just described. It's like 20 mini conventions all
Yeah.
within one, and it's going to be multiple locations. Is that right, or is it all at the convention center?
We have a quarter of a mile of the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is pretty
Wow,
massive when you think about it.
that
So
is, yeah.
everything fits in there. But one of our zones, which is called Game Over, which is our games, esports, arcade, console kind of, also D&D, board games, cards, all that sort of stuff. That's our game zone. We thought that we wouldn't be able to do an esports tournament justice in the convention center because obviously it's only on for 4 days and we're only allowed 3 days prior to build everything. Obviously, everything else is getting built beforehand and then assembled inside. But I mean, we didn't think that we could do justice with an esports tournament, and we knew we wanted to have one of those, a global
Mm-hmm.
esports tournament. And I won't mention the game yet, but you know, you can guess it's a good one for Halloween and games fans. So we sought out the HyperX Arena, which is inside the pyramid of the Luxor. And those guys are just incredible. And we have some real mischief up our sleeves planned. And a haunted arena, which will be lots of fun. They're outside of HallowScreamCon. We're creating something called HallowScream Fest. which is after dark hours, so when the convention
Okay.
closes in the morning, and we kick it off with a zombie run or a monster run. You can be a zombie or a monster. It's entirely up to you. And it's a run to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign that starts at 7 a.m. on the first day of HallowScream Fest. Big community thing. And then that kind of kicks it off. And then all the way down the strip, there'll be different entertainment activations, music stuff, comedy stuff, illusion stuff, stunts, parties. There's one party that I am dying to tell you about. When we turn the cameras off, I might let you know.
Okay.
But it's lots of fun just because I can't announce it yet. The problem is that I am the worst person to know all of this stuff because I am dying to literally tell you everything. But we have to wait for our partners to want to announce things. So,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
it'll wait, it'll keep.
Well, while we're waiting for that, let's talk about some of these zones that you mentioned.
Mhm.
I read through the press packet, and a couple of them I think our audience are going to be especially interested in. And you've
Yeah,
already mentioned some of them, but if we could go into a little more detail, the Hallowseum. It's I think it's the one you were talking about with a lot of the vintage, old Halloween decor and props and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little more about that one? Because that sounds like it's going to be a cool exhibit and just for Halloween
absolutely.
geeks like myself that love especially vintage Halloween.
Right. I'll tell you what I can.
Okay.
Right. So, I didn't want to build an event where you don't get entertainment for free, right? You
Hmm.
pay to get in, and then basically you've got to pay for everything, and then, it's just
Pay
shops,
again,
whatever.
yeah.
I didn't want to do that. So,
Hmm.
we wanted to ensure that at least half of the zones have entertainment so that you're coming in and there's things to do that don't cost you anything, right? Um, because that's kind of what it was all about,
Hmm.
entertaining people and bringing people together. So there are certain zones. There's a dark zone in the scareground that will have haunts.
Oh yeah.
And characters that you can meet. You'll meet our doctor, and he will take people's heart rates to make sure that they're allowed to go in, and that then it's not going to be too much. Then there's the HallowSeum. The HallowSeum is basically a walkthrough of the history of Halloween, but also oddities, curiosities, artifacts, and
Hmm.
then also movie posters, film
Hmm.
props, monsters from the past, and things like that. We are speaking to a couple of people that will really make that zone,
Hmm.
but I'm not allowed to say who yet. But again, if you do your research, you'll figure it out. Local to where we're looking.
Hmm.
So there's definitely going to be lots of things for you to look at in there and experience. So that's the HallowSeum, um, and
And
it's growing. That area is growing. So it was just going to be a small walkway with some facts and
hmm
some things, but it is getting bigger.
that sounds cool. Because again, I'm just personally fascinated always with the history of Halloween and stuff like that.
Of
And
course.
I know a lot of our audiences as well. Now, you mentioned the scare ground and the haunt element there. That's another one I wanted to learn more about. What else can you tell
Yeah.
us about that one? That one sounds really cool.
Well, so as I was saying, if you imagine that the convention or megacon is split up into lots of smaller conventions,
Hmm.
um, and one of them will be sports, one of them will be games, one of them will be, tiki rockabilly tattoos kind of thing,
Hmm.
Americana, and so on. There are some that specifically lean towards horror and Halloween, right?
Yeah.
So the scare ground is a perfect example of one of both of those.
Hmm.
So the meet and greet celebrities that you'll meet in Scareground will be specifically people from horror films or from Halloween films or TV shows and so on and so forth. It will all be themed that way. The vendors that you'll meet in the Scareground will all be stuff that you can buy for Halloween. So props or homeware or costumes or fashion or whatever else. The lectures, demonstrations, panels that you see in that zone will all be pertaining to exactly what we were just talking about, the history of Halloween, the
Hmm.
history of films to do with Halloween, you know, uh, some behind the scenes stuff, some interesting Q&As and conversations. And actually, do you know what? Here's one for your guests. We're really interested in what people will want to see.
Hmm.
So we're building right now. We know what we want to
Hmm.
put in there now. But if people say, why don't you do this? Then we're all ears. Genuinely, we're building this show for the people. And we want the people to tell us, who do you want to come and meet? What do you want to see in there? What discussions do you want to hear about? What are the questions you've been burning for?
Yeah.
Um, so that, but a lot of the scare ground, um, is taken over by attractions. So experiences, attractions, and things that might give you a scare, hence the name.
Awesome. And you said that there's going to be live elements in all of these and different zones, and each
Yeah,
zone is also going to have different, like you said, related meet and greets,
yeah,
signings,
yeah,
celebrities, and just people known within that particular zone. That sounds
yeah.
amazing.
So sports stars in the sports
In
zone,
sports.
nostalgia stars in the time zone, Halloween horror
Hmm.
stars in the paranormal investigation zone, in the
Hmm.
scaregrounds and the Hallowseum. In the Hello Scream kitchen, you're talking celebrity chefs.
Oh yeah.
You'll be able to meet influencers and content creators in the anti-social media zone, film and TV stars and documentary stars in Final Cut,
Hmm.
anime, live action, and voices and things like that over in Otaku Obscura. In the art and animation zone, you've got legends from the comic book, art and animation world, voiceovers, writers. We've got the writer of the Scream TV series that's over there. We've got the creator of animated Spider-Man over in there. I mean, I could go on, but your interview will be very, very long and drawn out. But like I said, if you treat every zone like its own mini convention,
Hmm.
then you can't go too far wrong in your brain about what to expect in each of them.
That all sounds so exciting. And another element that I wanted to talk about and let our audience know about is the Scream Labs, where it sounds like you're going to be taking actual pitches
Yeah.
and have some pros there. You can describe it better than I can, but that sounds really exciting. So maybe you can tell us more about Scream Labs zone.
It's the most important zone. It's the most important thing we're doing,
Okay.
actually. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
It's the most important thing in the whole convention. And the reason being is because it gives people their shot, right?
Yeah.
And I
Hmm.
know many of the other fans of the world, I'm tired of sequels, reboots, sequels, remakes, all of that sort of stuff. I need something new. And we know it's out there. I meet
Hmm.
talented people all the time. But if you ask them how they know how to pitch their film or their TV show or their comic book or their live experience to the people that can make that happen, it's a mile apart.
Hmm.
You have to know someone or you have to know someone that knows someone. Um, so what Scream Labs does, we have an area of Scream Labs called Pitchcraft, which is its own show. And that is a panel of Hollywood producers and movers and shakers, if you will, that have achieved big things. So, for instance, Ken Levine, who you would have heard from if you watch the press conference video, he's
Hmm.
the producer of The Boys, Amazon's The Boys.
Hmm.
He's one of the panel of judges. Um, and we will start accepting creative pitches for brand new IPs. shortly. We're just trying to work out the best way to receive them so that it
Hmm.
doesn't become too overwhelming. There are
Yeah.
60 spots
Okay.
over the 4 days. So there are 60 spots to pitch. And each of those pitches, can I mention that particular director? So we have a very well-known horror director
Okay.
who will be sitting in as a guest judge for any films that are horror, Halloween, and listening to their pitches. Now, it's not like that's bad, don't do that.
Right.
It's not that. That's not what this is. This is an encouragement piece.
Hmm.
This is what you should do.
Right.
This is how you should change that. And they're asked the questions that industry players will ask and that they need to know the answers to, right?
Right.
In order to be able to successfully greenlight a show. Now,
Hmm.
the other thing that we're going to be doing that's very different and hasn't been done before is running alongside these pitches is that each of those 60, not contestants, that's wrong, but people that are creators
Hmm.
will have their own desk set up and we will be live streaming the pitches. And we're going to be trying to work with Kickstarter, GoFundMe, and anyone else so that people around the world can watch the pitches. And if they like what they see, they can donate
Hmm.
to project in return for a sign this or a tea or
Right.
a pin or whatever to try and greenlight as many brand new IPs as we humanly possibly can in 4 days. Now, also, every time I'm speaking to a film company, every time I'm speaking to a streamer, every time I'm speaking to a TV show or an immersive experiential agency or whatever, I'm saying to them, can you send someone? Can you send an acquisitions person to come and sit and listen
Yeah.
to these pitches? Because also, whilst we're there, it's no good just getting the money. You need to find it a home. So they're all aware that everybody's excited about Screenlab's Pitchcraft and that zone in general. We'll deck it out so it'll look like a Frankenstein's lab kind of thing. So it's quite funny. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
people better bring their A game because this is a shot.
Yeah.
And, we are doing this for at least 5 years. So year one, we'll see what we can do. We're going to try our damnedest. To me, it's the most important thing. It's where my heart lies, is finding the new Stranger Things, finding
Hmm.
the new Harry Potter, finding the new Halloween,
Yeah.
finding the new Hocus Pocus, whatever. I I want this to be that opportunity for people that don't normally have that opportunity, that don't normally get the opportunity to sit in front of the big boys or to be critiqued by people that will give them positive reinforcement, but will also tell them how it is and
Right.
what they need to do, right? So that's why, for me, it was the first zone that I wrote. Honestly, it was the first thing I was like, the whole point of HallowScreamCon and HallowScreamFest is to change the game.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Well, by making something brand new and
Hmm.
giving people the opportunity to be a part of something bigger. So that's where it all kind of originated from at the very beginning.
Wow, yeah, and it does sound like an amazing opportunity. And so, if I understand it right, very soon it's going to open up for people, like anybody can submit their
Yeah,
pitches, and then that's going to be judged down to the 60 that will get
yeah.
this opportunity. Is that
Yes, so we don't just want 60 films or 60 TV shows or 60 games or whatever. We want a nice we'd love to be able to do that. Listen, I'd love to be able to do this year round in a
yeah,
hall somewhere from day to night,
sure,
finding new things and giving people shots, but we just can't do that.
right.
And because this is an entertainment audience and it's an entertainment convention and our
Hmm.
judges are from different walks of the entertainment industry, it will need to be representative of all forms of entertainment. So whether that's a theatre show,
Hmm.
or whether that's an attraction, or whether it's a comic book, or whatever, there'll need to be some variety. So there'll obviously be a certain number of film pitches, there'll be a certain number of TV show
Hmm.
pitches, a certain number of so and so and so forth. Um, But the criteria will come from passion, from originality that
Yeah.
we're looking for, from the work, because
Hmm.
you can't just write something on the back of a cigarette packet and be like, here, what about this?
Hmm.
I need to see commitment, passion, blood, sweat, tears, belief, and confidence.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to waste a pitch spot on somebody that's not going to bring everything.
Yeah.
So we need to see that. So we're just currently working out what the application looks like with the judges and what they want to see. And we
Hmm.
obviously have a team of editors that will whittle down before it even gets to the judges. So we know that when we open up those gates, it's going to go a bit wild. So we're just we're just trying to figure out the fairest
Hmm.
um the fairest route so that everybody gets their shot, but that we find the most worthy people who we believe are the most likely to greenlight.
And I love that it's going to be themed as Frankenstein's lab,
Oh, of course.
creating
It's
the creature.
alive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And just reading through the press pack and everything, listening to your announcement and following on social media. I love how everything, even if it's not directly involving Halloween, it's still got that theme, like
It has to.
pitchcraft instead of witchcraft. I just love every aspect of it that I've read about. Um, it that's part of it. The Halloween atmosphere and just the theming of it,
Yeah.
which I love. You've created some original characters and all of those are like little Halloween monsters, and I love that as well.
Well,
So
so the story bit, listen, I don't think you can ever just be like, let's just put a show on, right? So for me, people were saying, oh, well, you should use trailers from this, or you should use the phone call from Scream, or you should
mhm,
use do you know, whatever.
mhm,
And as somebody that's worked in the entertainment industry for so long, I kind of was like, no, no, I don't think we do want to use other people's stuff,
yeah,
right? We'll
yeah,
celebrate it at the show,
yeah,
but we kind of need to have our own story and our own monsters and our own mystery and its
mhm,
own narrative. So, the story behind HallowScreamCon
yeah,
is that back in the 50s, in 1956, Halloween night, um, a young Hollywood starlet called Shrieky Von Tiki was called to Vegas to do a cabaret show, like now a cursed cabaret show, if you will. And during that time, she was sort of slipped a Mickey, if you will, in a cursed cocktail called the Final Scream, which has transformed her into the Countess. And it
mhm,
means that for only 4 days per year, she comes back into her form, which is like a green vampire-y kind of, but still gorgeous figure. And during those 4 days, she is relentless and obsessed with finding who cursed her. So she has sent out 25 coins all over America. And actually, there's one over here in London, there's one in Spain, there's one in Germany, all over the world to try and find the best investigators and summoning them to the show to come and help her work out who cursed her. So through every zone, there are little clues and little stories. And here's one of the coins, actually. There's one about to get announced today.
very
It says
cool.
the convention you've been dying for. Um,
Yes,
and uh, and they're hidden. So a clue will actually come out today, which is one of the things that I can tell you. After we stop speaking today, a clue's going to go live, and somebody will be able to go and find that. And inside the show, there is a hidden monster speakeasy tiki bar called the Shriekeasy. And the only people that are allowed in there are our celebrity guests, the Countess herself, and people that hold a coin. And back there, they'll find all sorts of extra narrative story, wonderful people. They'll get backstage. They'll get lovely swag. It's very exciting. And every time we've released a coin, within a week, I think maybe the first one was a bit longer because that was very, very hard. We realized that we probably made it a bit too hard, the first one. Although somebody found it.
Hmm.
But they've been found very quickly and excitedly. We've had people say, oh, oh God, I know somebody that's driven 6 hours there and
Yeah.
6 hours back and not found it and has gone back the next week. I mean, fortunately, one of the guys that did that did actually find one. So, I don't feel so bad about that. But she has cursed some of her dressing room girls, so the Las Vegas glampires,
Hmm.
each have a story. And then also they felt like they maybe needed some men in their lives. So they have the dead fellas who can be found in downtown Las Vegas, but they're kind of Rat Pack, mobster, monster cross. So
Hmm.
they're all in there. And the Countess herself always wanted to be a mother. So she went into the Scream Labs and created some baby monsters who you may have seen. They're the cutest little creatures.
Hmm.
They're called the pumpkins. So there are original stories, original IPs, original narratives, clues that people can follow and get involved with. And it runs throughout the entire show, and they'll be spotted at various points during HallowScream Fest, popping up here and there to come and meet people. And we have the most glorious, incredible talent playing the Countess. I shouldn't say playing the Countess, it is the Countess, obviously. But again, I can't announce that yet. But you're going to love her. She's incredible.
Awesome. That sounds great, especially having them all kind of, like you said, mingling around with the public and people attending and interacting. That whole interactive element and the overriding story that you just laid out, that's going to be threaded throughout all of this. I think that's one of the coolest aspects of this event. That hearing that you guys have put so much time and effort into that. I mean, it's obvious just hearing you speak about it, and again reading up on this in the press packet. I was really impressed with all of the detail to all of this that you've put together.
It's all done with love.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It's done out of respect for our guests.
Hmm.
Don't half-ass something. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like people deserve more. They deserve lore. They deserve backstory. They
Hmm.
deserve rich characters that they're going to meet and interact with. Um, you know, because, like I said, this is all about entertainment. It's all about making people smile, jump, laugh, cry,
Hmm.
feel, right? We
Yeah.
live in an age where feeling and emotions are not people's priority. Well, they're mine.
Hmm.
That's my priority is to give people an experience. Not just oh, that's nice. But if they want to, they can get deep into that our story and what will spin off from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like the possibilities are endless moving forward. Like you said, spin off of it. I could see a lot of different ways that could work. But even just from the marketing standpoint, it makes sense to have your own characters, your own IP, and then that can be threaded through as well. Like you said, for the people that want to pay attention to it and want to soak it all up, and for plenty of other people, they it's not
They probably
required.
won't.
It's not
No,
required to enjoy the rest of it.
no, they can just go and look at beautiful
Yeah.
vendors and what they're doing, or they can listen to a film director talking about why they chose this character or whatever. They don't have to get involved, and we're not going to force that onto somebody.
Hmm.
But just know that the love's there, the game's there, the
Right.
story is there. If people
Hmm.
want to come and play in our playground, then they can, but they don't have to. We're
Yeah.
not going to force people to do anything. Um, but if they do want to come and explore, then there's going to be lots for them to see, lots of hidden things, lots of open the drawer and find this, look
Hmm.
behind the mirror and see this. It's all there.
Yeah. It sounds like it sounds so cool. Now you've teased a few things that you can't talk about yet that hadn't been announced. Is there anything that hadn't been announced that you can tell us about, or you can reveal or announce today?
Well, one of the things that I am gonna talk to you about, which hasn't
Okay.
been announced, and I think probably because it's so important to me, on the 1st of October, which is our first day show, I made a mistake. And I'm the first one to say it. I hadn't realized when we booked the show that the 1st of October is actually a very sad day in Las Vegas. It marks the anniversary of the Mandalay Bay shootings.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I didn't know that. And that's my fault for not having, with all the research that we did and all the time we spent, I hadn't seen that. So on the 1st of October, it doesn't feel right for me to, and for obviously the team, we've spoken about it a lot. A lot of people said it doesn't matter, but it matters to me. It doesn't feel right talking about ghosts and ghouls and monsters, knowing that something terrible happened on that day. So the 1st of October will be a trade, influencer, education, VIP, or we call it RIP, obviously really important people, day. And instead of starting our partying that night, we're going to be we haven't come up with a name yet. I was playing with moonlight meetups, but I don't know. And what they will be is there'll be networking events.
Okay.
For the industry to work out if you want to be a makeup artist, an SFX makeup artist, or a prosthetic makeup artist, then there'll be in the SFX and beauty zone, it will have its own event where you could come yourself with your portfolio or with what you're trying to achieve, and you can come and meet masters of industry. You can come and pitch yourself. You can come and try and find ways in. Opportunities. If you don't ask, you don't get, right? Same with music industry. So there'll be a music one, there'll be an art and animation one, there'll be a film and TV one on that night. And during that day, there'll be a lot of student opportunities to come and learn. So that the first day's curation, obviously everybody is welcome. But it will be a slightly different tone on day one. From day two, we party, right? We go mad. We start at 7 a.m., like I said, with the zombie monster run, and we go right the way through the night to the next day, and right the way through again. And then on Sunday, we have our family day, and then we also have a charity auction in the evening, and a final closing gig. So it goes full on from that second day, from the 7th, but it doesn't sit well with me or right with me to go too wild on the first day. So rather than miss the opportunity altogether, we're going to create opportunities. We're going to create spaces where people can professionally create business opportunity, meet people that are like-minded, that they can work together with, and basically work out how to advance themselves in the entertainment industry, be that in sports, be that in music, be that in comedy, whatever. So that is one thing that nobody knows yet. So ta-da!
Very cool.
And like I said, we're not saying that the 1st of October won't still be the same vendors, and it won't still be the same stages, and it will be everything the same. It's just that the content and the way it's curated on that day will be more about giving. It will be more about opportunities. It will be more about creating business. It will be more about learning and whatever. And in the evening, rather than final scream cocktails and pool parties, it will be a time for trying to find opportunities, networking, and so on. It's not boring. It's not trade. I'm not saying that in any way, but it will be slightly different from the second, third, and fourth. So that is one thing. I was trying to think whether I should tell you about some of our celebrity guests. When will this air?
Well, as we're recording, it'll be like probably next week sometime.
Oh, okay. So then there's probably a load of people that we can announce
Oh,
actually,
great.
uh,
Perfect.
that are going to be there as guests. I don't want to just throw out all the Halloween horror people, uh, because I'm trying to let you know that there's a different kind
Yeah.
of meet and greet celebrities. So, for example,
Okay.
in the time zone, we will have the fabulous Flash Gordon himself. He saved every one of us. Mr. Sam J.
Awesome.
Jones, will be coming along. Um, uh, and can I say yes, I can tell you that. Although you'll be like, that's got nothing to do with Halloween, but that's the point, and that's why I'm telling you. We're going to be having probably the world's largest ever police academy reunion.
Oh, wow.
Um, Now, why Police
Hmm.
Academy, Kelly? That's an odd one. Again, we were looking at the 80s, 7 films, comic books, animated TV series, one of the most progressive IPs of its time with strong women, people that look different from the average kind of what we were seeing right then, police force,
Hmm.
character-driven comedy, not too serious, but iconic people that
Hmm.
kind of came out of it and that spanned an entire decade. An entire decade.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not? Let's bring the boys and girls out of Police Academy and see if we can't do the biggest meet and greet meetup that we possibly can. So you can imagine who might be coming out of that.
Hmm.
There's some great people that you can expect to see released soon. In our anime zone, we have some of our One Piece Netflix show
Hmm.
uh, reunions that will be happening. We'll start by announcing Vincent Regan. I don't know whether you know him of 300 and Troy and Aquaman, but obviously also One Piece. He's only ever been over to America once before, I
Okay.
believe, at one convention. So American fans would not have had the chance really to ever meet him.
Yeah.
We're trying to make sure that the people that we bring to meet and greets are not the same people that you're going to see at every convention you go to, because
Right.
and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me,
Hmm.
I'm not saying that. We're bringing so that there'll be people that nobody's ever had the opportunity to meet before, people that are quite rare at conventions, and people that offer some great insight into the entertainment industry. So masters of industry. So for instance, Marcus Nispel, director of Friday the 13th,
Hmm.
and Texas Chainsaw Massacre remakes.
Hmm.
He'll be coming along. We're bringing him over from this side of the world to have a look at some wonderful pitches in the labs, but also to do some panels and talk about the making of horror films and the remaking of horror films.
Yeah.
It's exciting. We shall have Oliver Robbins from the Poltergeist series,
Oh, okay.
Poltergeist 1 and 2. And he'll also be joining some other very prolific child actors, because we'll be having a discussion about what that was like.
Hmm.
I don't know where to stop. Let me stop, because otherwise I'm going to announce everyone. Well, not everyone, but I'm going to announce too many people before we want to announce them, and my team will tell me off. So, but there's some exclusives for you.
Awesome.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I can tell you. No, I can't. There's nothing else I'm going to tell you for now. The Countess's Magic is going to try and bring some parts of Las Vegas that have been dead for a while back to life for one
Oh,
night only.
okay.
So we have been in discussion for a while now about what we can do to bring back iconic entertainment activations on the Las Vegas Strip for the 2nd of October.
Hmm.
Use the Countess's Magic to bring it back to life. And then also downtown on the 3rd,
Hmm.
and Area 15. So yeah, there's going to be a lot going on day, night. you know, uh, we'll have to reach out to Red Bull or Ghost or Monster. There's other energy drinks, I'm sure, as sponsors to try and keep people awake because there's going to be a lot to do.
It sounds like a lot to do. Yeah, it is going to be a jam-packed 4 days, it sounds like. Well, that's some exciting scoops right there to take note
Mhm.
of. And yeah, it sounds like it's just the tip of the iceberg with lots more. So of
Well,
course we'll
just I thought I'd give you a few little very varied one
yeah,
side of the scale to the other side of the
sure.
scale.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and do you know, again, here's the thing, Matt. I would love for your listeners to tell us, what do you
Hmm.
want to see? Who do you want to meet? You know, what would you like to see there? We're
Yeah.
building this show for your listeners, readers, viewers,
Hmm.
um, in the same way as we are everybody else, you know?
Hmm.
So we need to hear. If you don't tell us, or you don't ask, you don't get.
And
So engage. Let
and
me
that
know.
I love hearing that you guys are so open to that feedback and in this planning stage, even though so much has already gone into it, yeah, there's still room and still time to take into account if a lot of people request a certain guest or something or come up with a certain idea that maybe you guys hadn't thought of yet. So there you go,
Absolutely.
everybody.
We'll knock ourselves out trying to get it done, you know?
Hmm.
And if we can't do it in year one, we'll do it in year two or
Hmm.
year three. You know, we're going to grow with you guys. But we are all open to ideas. We have incredible talent by way of Terry Notary, who will be directing live action in the
Hmm.
show of Simon Ree, our stunt coordinator, who's listed in the top 10 stunt coordinators in the world, American Horror Story, Stranger Things, has been involved in all of those sorts of stuff. So you better believe there's going to be some explosive stuff going on the
Hmm.
stage and outside in the streets.
It sounds like it. And like you said, this a team you're assembling, they bring the credits with them to their work speaks for itself in a lot of those
Yeah, we're not
cases.
messing
So
around.
yeah, it all sounds awesome to me. So just to sum it all up, I mean, again, this is a full circle moment of that little girl growing up who wanted to celebrate Halloween when nobody else around did, and now you've got all of this, and it's
Ah,
built around Halloween. What and you've talked about it a lot already, but at the end of the day, what are you hoping people that attend this and experience this are going to walk away feeling?
right. What's really important to me is that people enjoy, obviously, that's the point. They laugh in the right places, they jump in the right places, they take away a memory, they take away content that they can create. But you know what? More important to me than probably anything else, this for me was a dream that started 27 years ago, right? I'm no different from anyone, right? No one out there. Just put both feet in, pushed forward, kept trying and moving and planning and working. And now this is happening. So I'm inviting everybody in to my little world that we've been building slowly and along the way, to come and be a part of it, but to also take away that everybody's got a dream, everybody's got an idea, everybody's got something that they want to do but are putting off. Don't put it off. Memento mori. All man must die. We only live once, right? Go for it. Go for it. Do it. Come and try and find your opportunities with us or elsewhere, but find them. Let your creativity sing, believe, because if I can do it, and if my guys in our team can do it, and all of the people that they're going to meet have done it, anyone can. So that would be the one thing that I would like people to walk away from our show with, and that's hope, opportunity, and the understanding that with extraordinary dreams and extraordinary work, extraordinary things can happen. And that's it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it sounds
Oh, that was a
awesome.
bit preachy. Am I preachy? I didn't mean to sound preachy, but you know,
No,
it's the truth.
yeah, yeah, no, that's from the heart. Yeah, I love it, and I think that's what people want to hear. And yeah, it all just sounds so cool and so exciting. And this has been great. Just getting some inside scoop from you and just learning more about how this all started and how it got to this point. And as we're recording this, it's still early January and but it's coming fast. And I know it'll be here before we know
Yeah,
it. But hopefully we'll have you back on before then, and we'll talk more about where we're at that point, leading into it. And but yeah, we can't wait.
absolutely.
I can't
Do you
thank you
know,
enough
do you know
for.
what I do you know what
Yeah,
I didn't tell you, which is
yeah,
probably one
sure.
of the things that you're most interested
Well,
in, is
please.
that we've had monsters being designed and built and prosthetics and rigs and all of that sort of stuff by some of the film industry's finest
Yes.
for the last 9 months. And they're going to be flying over at some point uh, for you all to meet.
Awesome.
There will be iconic Las Vegas monsters that you might expect to see that will be walking around.
Hmm.
But there'll also be some brand new, original, created by the guys from, the SFX makeup guys from things like Dune or June, as I call it, and Moon Knight, and that whole SFX area, creatures and monsters. In that zone, you can either go in and get a glam makeover and get your hair did and your nails and some lashes put on so you're ready to go out Vegas that night, or you can go full the other way and you can become a monster by the masters themselves, and you can walk out of that hall, quite different. So that's quite important as well for people that
Yeah,
love Halloween and horror. You're going to see
absolutely.
some things that probably would never have been seen before, and that work has been happening. That, like I said, the love going into this show, and it's all for the people. I'm going to be so nervous the day before
Hmm.
because our world will unfold and it will be there for people to hopefully love. But you do kind of occasionally go, oh, what if they don't like it? But I feel like we've covered every base and dotted every I and crossed every T. But if we haven't, that's where your viewers come in.
Hmm.
Tell us what you want, and we'll make it.
Sounds great. Yeah, it sounds great. And there you go, everybody. Speak up and let your thoughts be heard. And but yeah, everything I'm hearing so far at this stage sounds like you guys are doing everything right and putting together just something that's going to be epic and totally amazing. And we can't wait. Um, I know you're busy, so I'm going to let you go. But I cannot
Wonderful.
thank you enough for hanging out and talking to us today. This has been amazing. And just yeah, we can't be more excited for HallowScreamCon, the first weekend in October in Las Vegas. And instead of saying goodbye, we always just wrap up because every day's Halloween anyway for us, obviously for
Yeah.
you. So I'm just gonna wish you a very happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Matt, and thank you ever so much for having me. I've really enjoyed my time with you.